it's a statement from the Biden administration, from the U.S. to say you're on the right track, Egypt and Israel, handling that. Basically, the idea is that the calm should remain in Gaza Strip, and the focus would be on humanitarian assistance and improving the lives of Palestinians. And that comes through the idea of hailing the construction efforts of Egypt, or welcoming it to do that role. So I think it's the negotiation about this policy direction between the Israeli and the Egyptian side vis-a-vis Hamas and Gaza was to be focused on the economic and humanitarian aspect of the Palestinian. That's when Naftali Bennett was in Egypt just a short while ago. So basically, the United States is saying, yeah, maintain that calm and peace. That's regarding that file.
Let's just talk about the fact of National Security Advisor Sullivan being in Cairo, because we know the Biden administration came into office with there were expectations of increased tensions for Cairo. What does it say that now we see this top official from the White House coming to sit with Sisi and trying to find common ground with him on a number of these issues?
Yeah, absolutely. There is no increased tensions between the United States and Cairo, actually, and that's the evidence. I think Egypt has proved itself to be very important and reliable. It plays a key role for this Israel-Hamas security issue with Libya as well. You mentioned that as a second topic that was discussed. Basically, Egypt demanding that the foreign fighters and the mercenaries would leave neighboring Libya. I think the U.S. administration, be it Democrat or Republican, they understand that the ties with Egypt are very long, and they've been for decades. And I think that's what came out in the Egyptian statement. The fourth element about human rights and all of that was actually mentioned, but under a different label called enhancing the 40 years long ties along security and military issues. One thing to be, we should remember is that the military aid to Egypt and Israel alike was the product of the peace treaty in 1979. It's $1.3 billion to Egypt. It's about $3.7 billion to Israel. $130 million are not even that much of a big number. It's just symbolic from the Congress side to say, we're having an eye here on our relations, Egypt. What are you doing about certain issues? But in the end, Jake Sullivan and others are always going to keep saying that Egypt is doing a great job in terms of combating terrorism and extremist thought. So there is a much debate around who even are the target of the words like human rights and political rights. Are they the political Islamists? Are they the people that Egypt considers as a threat to the state through extremist thought? So there is a lot of discussion. And I think the United States and Egypt, time and again, reach a shared vision on regional and domestic affairs.
Right. I'm just going to take note that we did see recently President Sisi take a personal involvement in the Israeli-Hamas mediation efforts, which was unusual. And now that he's gotten this sort of backing or sign of support, approval from the White House, we might even see a kind of elevated effort by Cairo in that development. Dr. Marwa Maziad, thank you for joining us again on The Rundown.